This is a SnapEd New York video presentation.
Hello everyone, my name is Wendy Beckman and I'm a registered dietitian with the New York State Office for the Aging and SnapEd New York. Thanks for joining me today on What's Cooking with NYSOFA. Today I'm going to be making pasta with roasted vegetables. We'll be posting the link to the recipe below, and the recipe can also be found on the SnapEd New York website at www.snapedny.org. This recipe is a great side dish for the summer months. It gives you a chance to use some of the fresh vegetables that are available this time of year. Be sure to visit a nearby farmer's market to get some fresh local produce. Before we get into the recipe, let's look at the My Plate graphic. This recipe covers the fruits and vegetables section of My Plate, because it includes squash, onions, mushrooms, and cauliflower. You want to make half of your plate fruits and vegetables at each meal, and this recipe can help you reach that goal. This recipe also includes whole wheat pasta, which is a whole grain. Make half of your grains whole grains by including things like whole wheat pasta and whole wheat bread into your eating pattern. Whole grain foods contain more fiber and vitamins and minerals than their white grain counterparts. Eating enough fiber each day can help promote regularity, and high fiber foods can help you feel full longer. Remember that everything you eat and drink over time matters. You want to find your healthy eating style and maintain it for a lifetime. The right mix can help you be healthier now and in the future. So let's start making pasta with roasted vegetables. Remember to wash your hands with soap for at least 20 seconds or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer before you start cooking. Let's look at the ingredients for this recipe. Now I've cut the recipe in half, and I'll tell you what the recipe calls for, but here you're going to see half of the ingredients. This recipe makes 8 servings. Each serving is 1.5 cups with 310 calories, 50 grams of carbohydrates, and 7 grams of fiber. If you want to cut down on the amount of carbohydrates in the recipe, you could cut the amount of whole wheat pasta in half and double the amount of vegetables. Most vegetables are low in carbohydrates and high in fiber, water, vitamins, and minerals. Now the recipe calls for a medium onion, chopped, a handful of mushrooms, which is probably anywhere from a half to 1 cup of mushrooms chopped, 1 small head of cauliflower chopped. I actually used about a half of a head of cauliflower, a 1/4 cup of canola or other vegetable oil, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper. You will need to use some non-stick cooking spray, and I'm also going to be putting some garlic powder in because I like the way that tastes. You will also need 1 16-ounce package of whole wheat pasta, and I have some here that's already been cooked. Optional ingredients are grated Parmesan or Romano cheese, and you can use a 1/4 cup of torn fresh basil or parsley if you like. Now I think you could add just about any other vegetable to this recipe that you wanted. If you wanted to add more color, you could add some chopped bell pepper, some chopped carrots, or some tomatoes like I'm going to do. Feel free to add any kind of vegetable that you want. I think that broccoli would work in this recipe just like the cauliflower does. Remember that you can use fresh, frozen, canned, or dried vegetables. All forms count. I think using some low-sodium canned tomatoes would be a great addition to this recipe, and it would cut down on the amount of cutting that you have to do. So the first thing you have to do for this recipe is to heat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, you have to wash all your vegetables before you chop them up. You don't have to do anything crazy like put bleach on them, but you just have to run them under some nice cool water. I've already washed and chopped all of my vegetables, the onions, the mushrooms, the cauliflower, and like I said, I have some tomatoes. I also have the zucchini that's already been chopped up as well. Now next, we're going to put the oil into a bowl here. So let's do that. This is canola oil. You could use olive oil or any other kind of avocado oil or something like that, but I chose to use canola oil. Then we have to put the salt and pepper into the oil. There's the pepper, and I am going to add some garlic powder. So if you want to cut down on sodium, use garlic powder instead of garlic salt. If you wanted to use fresh garlic, you could do that as well. If you wanted to use garlic that comes in the little jar, you could use that also. Anything will work. So that's all nice and incorporated. And next, what we have to do is put the vegetables into the bowl. So first I'm going to add some mushrooms. So let's put those in there. And the zucchini. That's next. You could use summer squash if you don't want to use zucchini, or if that's all they have at the store. Onions. Now I didn't chop these really fine. I sort of chopped them into chunks. When you're cutting your vegetables up, you want to make sure that you make them sort of uniform pieces, about bite-sized. Let's put in the cauliflower. And then last, I am going to put in the tomatoes. So we're going to do this first, and then what we can do is we're going to stir all these vegetables together with the oil, the salt, pepper, and garlic. Now this is going to take a little time because you got to try and get everything coated with the vegetable oil. It's going to help brown it a little bit when it's in the oven. And if you have a lot of vegetables in your bowl like I do, it's a little full. So you want to be careful when you're stirring everything up so that you don't spill things all over the place, but make sure that everything is sort of evenly coated. And like I said, try to keep everything sort of bite-sized pieces. And then when it's in the oven, it's going to bake at about the same rate. So that looks pretty good. Okay. So next we need a baking sheet, and we're going to put some non-stick cooking spray on the bottom. So hold on, I have that behind me. Here's my dish. And what I'm going to do is put that right here. Move this out of the way. And then I can just spray this a little bit with some cooking spray. Don't need too much. All right. And then what we can do is put the vegetables in the on the cooking sheet here. Just pour those in. And you want to have a large enough sheet, cooking sheet, so that you can put all of these vegetables sort of in one layer. That looks pretty good. I don't want the vegetables really to be piled up on top of each other. They won't brown as nicely in the oven if you have a big heap in the middle. So try to get a large pan. You can use a cookie sheet or something like that. So then we're going to put the vegetables in the oven for about 30 to 35 minutes or until they're browned on the edges. So let me put these in the oven, and I'll show you some vegetables that I've already cooked. All right, so these vegetables have already been cooked, and you can see that they are nice and browned. So I'm going to put these down for now. So during the last 10 minutes of while your vegetables are cooking, that's when you can cook your whole wheat pasta. Like I said, I have some here that's already been cooked, and you can reserve some of your pasta water if you want to, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. But first thing I'm going to do is in this skillet here, I have it set at about medium heat. And then we're going to put the vegetables together with the pasta. So let's put the vegetables in here first. Let's put the vegetables in here first. All right, you can see that they are already starting to sizzle a little bit. All right. And now I can put my pasta in with the vegetables. Here we go. All right, now we're going to mix all of these things together. All right, so the way that you can use your pasta water, if you've reserved some of that, you can actually add some of that back into this pan while everything is heating up so that you can add sort of a little bit of a sauce here. Now you may find that that's not necessary. Your vegetables will release some of their moisture while they're cooking. So you might need a little extra moisture or you might not. I'm actually going to add a little bit of water here. I have my sink. I'm going to add a little water. Add just a little bit back in. All right, good. That looks pretty good. There we go. And now you can see that the vegetables and the pasta are all sort of heating through. All right. So after you've mixed it all together, you can put it in a large bowl, and then you can add the grated cheese, the basil, or the parsley if you want to. And let me put a little bit of this in a bowl for you so you can see what it looks like. I have a nice bowl here. Let me make sure I get some of those tomatoes in there. We can see how nice and colorful that is. And actually, because you do most of the cooking ahead of time, you sort of cook the vegetables ahead of time, and then you cook the pasta, it heats up really very quickly. Look at that. That looks really great. It smells wonderful too. Let's put a little cheese on there. Oh, that looks great. So there you go. I think that this would be a great recipe to bring to a picnic or a potluck. I also think you could chill this side dish and serve it cold. So this pasta dish, I hope that it gave you some ideas on how to add more vegetables and whole grains into your diet. And like I said, you can choose to use any kind of vegetables that you want. I added some extra grape tomatoes for some more color. Now, don't forget to join me next month when I share more tips on how to save time, save money, and eat healthy. In August, I'll be making salmon cakes. This recipe has some high-quality protein that is quick to put together, and it's a great addition to a salad. I'll be back with another edition of What's Cooking with NYSOFA on Friday, August 25th at 12:30 p.m. right here on the New York State Office for the Aging Facebook page and the New York State Office for the Aging YouTube channel. This presentation was funded by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. This institution is an equal opportunity provider. Have a great day, everyone, and stay safe out there.
Thank you for joining us today. We know the healthy choice isn't always the easiest choice, but small changes can make a big difference. Start today by getting involved with SNAP-Ed New York. This program is free for those who qualify or receive SNAP benefits. We want to help you save time, save money, and eat healthy. Learn how SNAP-Ed can make a difference in your life. For more information and to find your local program, visit snapedny.org. This material was funded by USDA's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. SNAP. This institution is an equal opportunity provider.
Hi, I'm registered dietitian Wendy Beckman, host of What's Cooking with NYSOFA. Over the past 2 years, I've had the opportunity to share healthy, nutritious recipes with you on the show. I work for the New York State Office for the Aging, and thanks to a partnership with SNAP-Ed New York, our nutrition team reaches hundreds of thousands of older New Yorkers each year. So why a cooking program? 60% of health costs and related issues have nothing to do with health, but instead have to do with individual behaviors like our food choices and physical activity. The recipes we feature are nutritionally appropriate for older adults, meeting critical nutrition requirements for healthy aging. What I bet you don't know is that this show is only part of a larger effort. To help me explain what our nutrition team at the New York State Office for the Aging does and what a registered dietitian is, here is registered dietitian Lisbeth Irish.
A registered dietitian is a professional who has training and education in food and nutrition. To become an RD, you must complete certain requirements, including a minimum of a bachelor's degree from an institution that's accredited by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. You must also pass a national examination and meet continuing education requirements. What does that mean? As RDs, we are qualified to offer accurate advice about nutrition, and we can help answer your questions about how diet can affect your health. At NYSOFA, the registered dietitians handle many tasks. This includes hosting 2 online programs aimed at helping older New Yorkers make better nutrition choices. These programs are What's Cooking with NYSOFA, which is our monthly cooking demonstration, and a Facebook Live program that I host called Ask the Experts, Nutrition Edition. In the months ahead, be on your lookout for it. We'll be sharing your questions and our experts' answers about nutrition and health. New episodes of Ask the Experts Nutrition Edition debut the second Friday of each month on Facebook and YouTube.
As Lisbeth explained, registered dietitians at NYSOFA handle many tasks, including food safety at congregate meal sites educational materials, and outreach. In the meantime, please don't miss an episode of either show produced by our team, What's Cooking with NYSOFA and Ask the Experts Nutrition Edition. Every episode is uploaded to YouTube, and you'll find the archive shows there.
Do you have a question about foods? Or do you have a particular health issue that you'd like to improve by changing your diet? Tune in to Ask the Experts Nutrition Edition every second Friday at 1 p.m. We'd love to hear from you.
Remember, registered dietitians are the experts in nutrition. Visit for more sound advice about eating healthy on a budget.